the whole experience has humbled me starting the business, but that was just like, wow, that's crazy. But anyways, we post the video, and 20 minutes later, there's a lineup of kids at the store. And we're trying to pull these hoodies out of boxes, and we can't pull them out fast enough to sell them. I think we sold like 100 hoodies one day. And I literally looked over at the fridge and I was like, milk. Number 2, be prepared to lose money. Be prepared to send, your sample money, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, whatever the amounts you're gonna get is, and be prepared to lose that.
Thanks for tuning in today at the Rocket Podcast. This is our very first episode with a very special guest, JD of Macaron, local Calgary clothing brand.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, thanks for coming in today and supporting our new venture at the Rocket Studio.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, so you have a clothing brand. It's called Macaron. It's what you're wearing today.
Yes.
What's been making you happy lately?
Really just seeing, I'm one that's not really too active in the community. Over this long weekend, Victoria long weekend that just happened, I was out Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and seeing the amount of people wearing it in the city in different quadrants. That really, the whole experience has humbled me starting the business, but that was just like, wow, that's crazy. Like 6, 7 people every time we turn corners is like, damn, like the holy, like it's crazy. So that's that right now today has been the thing that's made me the most happiest.
Amazing. How long did it take you to get there?
We've been open for 3.5 years. Prior to opening was months of work and preparation and planning and trying to create the vision, and items and bringing items to life. So we're just about 4 years in. This October will be 4 years open with a store location. We started with a store location, didn't start online. We just went brick and mortar and just sold the lifestyle straight up, right up there, right off the jump, October 2019.
So you guys didn't go like every
nothing.
new trendy person that want to make it overnight and started an online store and you said, I'm going to make $1 million bucks.
No,
you went
we
for
didn't
brick
do
and
that.
mortar?
We just went straight in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to this question that I might, but first I want to tell me more about like your early days. How did you get here?
I used to be a hip hop artist, so I used to rap. I've toured with Raekwon, Onyx, multiple artists, Twista, Just Blaze. Like I've worked with multiple artists. So that's what I used to do, and I've always been infatuated with fashion. Didn't think that it was going to be something that I was going to do, and Milk Run was only the store name when we first started, and it was never really the brand name. There was no brand that was Milk Run. It was just the store name. And I wanted to focus on blanks, just regular white t-shirts, white or black t-shirts, I should say, because I just wanted the best core line you could have in the world. And I didn't even know that I was going to produce it or manufacture it on my own at this time. I just went down to the States, went into a couple areas, and I just found really good blank t-shirts that I could rebrand. And it grew from there. It grew from people asking to have the physical name of the store and the logo, the milk bottle on the shirt, growing into I'm just going to play around with graphics. Mind you, this is all on Microsoft Paint. I'm self-taught on everything. I didn't know Photoshop at the time. So this is 2019 and I'm playing around with Microsoft Paint, and I put a little Lucky, the Chinese cat inside of a milk bottle. And we pulled it out, put it on our Instagram story. We had maybe 300 followers at the time, maybe less.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and that's 2019.
Yeah, this is like I'm gonna say November, like right after Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
In October or in November 2019. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it? Yeah, it's just about 4 years now. And we post a photo. I still have this video because I look at it every now and then because this is the coolest shit. But anyways, we post the video, and 20 minutes later, there's a lineup of kids at the store. And we're trying to pull these hoodies out of boxes, and we can't pull them out fast enough to sell them.
And at that moment, did you have the store already?
Yeah, that's in Cross Iron. Okay. So we opened up October 2019. We were selling just blank t-shirts, and I actually was carrying a brand called Lifted Anchors. We still do carry them every now and then. I was carrying Puma, bunch of other different brands, right? So it was basically a modernized, I don't want to say Nordstrom's, but like a modernized boathouse, I guess you could say, like a cool shop.
So you started like you were a hip hop artist, so you sing.
Yeah. I used to rap.
When was the moment that when like you realized I want to have my own blank or like brand? Like
so it's 2018 and that whole transition is like, it was a weird transition. Milk Run overtook my life. So I don't even look at music anymore.
In what sense did Macaron took your life?
It took over, like it got that busy. It got that intense that I had to pay that much attention to it, that I had to grow it. I had to put all my time and effort into it, to the point where it's like I just left work, came here, I'll go home, cook, start designing, and then go to bed. So, and that's just because I'm designing next year's spring right now and ideas flow, right? So
today we're May 23rd and you're designing all your ideas
next year's
for the next year.
Yes. That's just, there's no rule. There's no rule to it. There might be. I don't know. I didn't go to school for this. I'm all self-taught. So, that's what I'm doing right now.
So you flew into the state for the first time and you find these wholesaler that you were somewhat satisfied with the blanks.
Yeah.
When was the moment then when you realized I'm going to go and manufacture my own?
I took an opportunity. So you know how hard it is to find a manufacturer in Canada and how expensive it is. Yeah. I was fortunate enough, somebody messaged me and I was like, you know what, I'm going to roll my dice with these guys. And mind you, at this point, I'm going to say 9 to 10. I still, to this day, get 9 to 10 DMs, Facebook. They hit me on WhatsApp. I don't even know how they get my number.
We get these all the time.
But they get it on WhatsApp. Yeah. And they're like, they call me nonstop until they pick up. You should see the amount of samples I have in my back room, right? Some of them are good. Some of them are like absolutely garbage. But yeah, I took my chance with a manufacturer.
How do you get the trust? Somebody randomly emails you from the other side of the world.
There's still no trust. Like every day it's like, dude could run away with my money. You know what I mean? But the cool thing about this is my manufacturer right now is we actually just bought a new factory. He tripled his size from the amount of business we've done in just 2.5 years with him. Because the first year I wasn't manufacturing on my own. Okay. I was dealing with like basically just printing on blanks. That's all I was doing, right?
And printing on blanks, you mean, for people that don't know, is like you go to these wholesalers, they have all these generic blanks.
Yeah, you buy what you get in a pack, and then you take it to a print house, something like the Rocket or whatever, and then go from there. You put your graphics down. So that's what I was doing on Microsoft Paint.
What?
Off of Microsoft Paint, I should say.
Not even using Canva.
Dude, using my images when I'd send them to people would be like 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters because I didn't know. How big of a canvas to work on. Nothing, right? So it was.
Would you relate your success more to your 300 followers on Instagram that were very loyal and dedicated to you, that they showed up when you first opened the brick and mortar store?
I mean, 100%. Yeah, and
that's
every new follower we get too. That's why we're successful, right?
What would you tell people that are wanting 1 million and they're not satisfied? Maybe the few thousands they have, and they're just, I have no followers. But like you had only 300.
Put your phone down. That's what they need to do. Put your phone down. Reconnect to life, because you can't sell to somebody by them reading. Them reading is them reading in their own tone. And if you add an exclamation mark behind something when you're excited, that might sound aggressive to somebody else. And they'll be like, whoa, this is a pretentious brand. You could even be like, yo, our brand new tees are out. Get them before they're gone, exclamation. And it's like 3 different people will read that 3 different ways. You know what I mean? So when you say the people who aren't happy because they have 1 million followers is literally... Are they real, number one? Did you buy them? Because I know a lot of brands in Calgary, they're buying followers right now. And that's cool, like if that's what you want. You know, if the followers is what you want, then that's fine. But I'd rather have clientele. So put your phone down, gain clientele. That's the only thing I think I could really say to them, to stop being so fixated on your followers number. Like, that's not your bank account.
What's the number one problem you're fixing for your audience through your brand?
This was the hardest question because I went through the questions and I was like, man, this guy's going to get me on this. And thank you too, because I think Milk Run as a whole is solving that, like, the dead local brand. You know what I mean? We're resolving and I think contributing more to the local community and shining spotlight on a local brand. Even though it's my brand, we're shining spotlight on a local brand from Calgary that has sustainable cotton, that has high quality, our quality of cotton. The new age fits, it's modernized. I said this in a different podcast. I was like, we're not a closet brand. We're not a brand that you put in the closet and let it sit there and the moths eat it. We're something that's worn every day, an everyday lifestyle. And that's what I think I don't want to say solving, because solving is a big word in my dictionary. It means, to resolve the problem. But I think we're contributing to people trusting entrepreneurs more, is what I think.
Locally.
Yeah, locally, even globally. Like I just shipped out packages to Australia today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would like to think that we are contributing to the guarantee of quality and pride again in a brand.
What is your vision behind Macaron?
You would ask me this 6 months ago, I would have told you it's to be the best white t-shirt in the game, the best black t-shirt in the game, just the fit, the feel, the weight, everything. And now I really want to propel the brand into an international name. I really want to go global with it. I want to tap, multiple areas of the world. I would love to have a store in Japan. I'd love to have a store in London. I'd love to have a store in Paris, one in New York, like all those cool hubs where the main creators are. I would love to be able to have a shop there and contribute to that part as well, like the forefathers of the fashion and the trends. So when I look at my brand now from where it was, I really see that growth, and I really see the introduction into stepping into that world, I think, anyways.
So as a small business owner and brand founder, 3.5 years in business, what was your biggest challenges?
Aside from the pandemic?
We could start with that, perhaps.
Well,
you started right into the pandemic. Because
literally.
I had started a cosmetic line before, which is collapsed completely. Yeah. So that didn't survive for me.
Check this out.
Guys? Yeah.
We opened October 2019. January 20th, we closed to move to a bigger location that I go renovate. I opened February 14th, March 3rd, done.
Oh my God. And you just committed to a
dumped you know what I mean? The Jew was like, anyways, dumped money into the renovation, had staff working, big brand new orders. We weren't manufacturing for ourselves yet. So that wasn't the problem. But we had spent a lot of money in growing into something bigger, because we started 500 square feet.
Oh, wow.
It was small.
So your first shop, it was at Cross Iron Mills?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was started off at 500 square feet.
Yeah.
Like, was it a corner store? Or?
It was right in front of Nike, the Nike outlet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it used to be a little print shop, ironically. But yeah, so I worked on it for about 3 months. We opened up, and just, again, we outgrew it. So if I go back to the story where the kids are in line at the store, we were pulling out hoodies. We couldn't sell them fast enough. Like, we couldn't pull them out of the box fast enough to sell them. I think we sold like 100 hoodies one day. We were like, whoa.
This is crazy.
And that's, my partners were like, we got something.
Yeah.
Like, you have something, you got something. They want things that you create. So let's continue creating.
So now suddenly you get like now this whole vibe and traction around your product and your brand, and you get a ghost email from somebody out of the country.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we can manufacture this thing. How do you go about this? What was the reply for people that are going through this process? How should they approach this type of phishing emails? As you call them?
The biggest thing is, I mean, I would hope somebody is, smart enough to know that's a phishing email to start with. They're not naive. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Yeah. I've been a victim of that myself. That's number one. Number two, be prepared to lose money. Be prepared to send, your sample money, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000, whatever the amounts you're going to get is, and be prepared to lose that. Oh. That's the number one thing. It's happened more than once.
Really? So people actually ripped you off?
Oh yeah.
Overseas?
Yeah.
How did that happen? Do you mind sharing the
so
story?
basically I was contacted and it was literally the exact same. Like it's all the same. I swear they must have a template.
They do.
Right?
Yes, they do.
So, and like my current manufacturer was no different at all. But yeah, template, whatever, I reply, we start chatting, we take it off of emails and onto whatever Signal, WhatsApp, my chat, 100 different things. And, they physically make the sweaters and everything, and they show you photos, and then boom, it just,
And they ask you for the wire transfer.
Yeah, you get the wire transfer, like you do it all, my man. I was fortunate enough to use PayPal this time. Because it wasn't too much. Yeah. So they kept on multiple times it's happened. They really push for a wire transfer. And at least with PayPal, your money's secure. So we were able to recover funds. But there's been a couple times where we haven't been able to. We were naive and it was too good of a story to be true. And we push the samples to production. They show us the samples over video. Everything looks good. We send them the money. Our deposit, I should say, months and months and months and months and every excuse under the sun, and it just doesn't stop. So at one point you got to swallow your pride and go, I got scammed. So just
the unfortunate truth.
Just be prepared. if you're not willing to lose money, I don't think business is for you. And I think you can agree with me on that.
100%.
Yeah, if you're not willing to that stack that you got, if you're not willing to just set it on fire right now and watch it burn, don't get into business.
Because a lot of people, they get into business thinking that they're going to make money the next day.
Yeah, no. It's not the case. I worked 3 months every day, 9 to 9, without taking a paycheck out of the business. Every day.
3 months is 90 days straight working 12 hours a day.
I had to go to my mom and dad sometimes to go eat dinner. You know what I mean? And take leftovers from there to bring for lunch while I'm doing construction on the shop. Because there's no money coming in. Who's going to pay you? Yeah. How are you gonna generate funds?
Yeah. And for every small business, basically, like there's the startup phase. So now you have your idea about this amazing product. Ideally, you want to be solving a problem or fixing something within the industry on your market niche.
Yeah.
That would be ideal. That's how you can build a lasting business. Then the second thing you're about to start, a lot of people start with the name and the logo. So first I'm going to ask you, how do you come up with your name and your logo?
Okay.
Then the second thing, is that something that people should start with?
Okay, so first thing, how I came up with the name and the logo. I was living in Richmond at the time. I lived in Richmond, BC. It's right beside Vancouver for 3 years. And I was managing a store called Blackwell. It was a shoe store. And I was going to open a vape shop originally. This is what it was originally. Yeah. Okay. It was going to be a vape store in BC. I was going to stay there and it was never going to be
the coolest place for it. Like BC is like everybody is on 420. Yeah, like it's all good.
So, and it was going to be like a premium, like what this, like, I forget what the
shop.
Yeah, like how they're that premium cannabis shop.
Yep.
So it was going to kind of be, not inspired by that because this was years before it, but it was going to be in that realm, a little bit more premium. Mm-hmm. And then I'm not a nerd about vapes like that. So it switched into JD, to my partners, hey, JD, you present me an idea, come with a business idea and we'll consider it. We'll analyze it and see what's up. Brought them this idea of a clothing store. And they're like, okay, cool. Show me what you're going to do and what the name is going to be. So I'm sitting in Richmond and I'm like, there's 100 names on a piece of paper. And my main focus was to create a common household brand name. The only way I was like, I was going through everything in my mind. I'm like, what could I make? How can I make this household? What's household? And I literally looked over at the fridge and I was like, milk. Everybody has milk in their,
Really?
yeah.
Is that what it was?
That's
like,
how it happened. Like that's literally the story. I'm not even lying.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, and I don't think I've ever told anybody really this at all, but I look over at the fridge and I'm like, milk. I'm like, that's, everybody's got milk. And I sat on it for an hour. I'm smoking my hookah, you know, it's my day off and I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, what could I do? How could I make this happen? And then Run comes in. I'm like, Milk Run. And I'm like, I was so fixated on Nike, I think at the time, that's why the word run came into my mind.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like, Milk Run, Milk Run. And then I text my boy Joey. He's a marketer in LA. He does a lot. He's a big mogul. Shout out my boy Joey. And I'm like, hey, out of these 5 names, what's like the coolest name do you think? And he's like, bro, Milk Run is the coolest to me, and it sticks the most.
100%.
And then so I take that name and I go to my assistant manager at Blackwell. Her name is Kyla. Shout out my girl Kyla for hooking me up. And we just she was super dope. We just kind of connected on like an actual success level. Like we wanted the store to be successful, things like that. She wanted to grow into a manager there, so I was helping her. And I was telling her the idea of this store. And she's like, well, I do graphics. I can help you out with it. So I kind of we just bounced ideas off each other. And she sent me this one logo back, and we just modified it as much to where Milk Run logo is now. And that's what happened.
And that's a milk jar today.
That's what happened.
When I looked up Milk Run,
I
was like, back in the days, like there used to be people collecting milk from these different farmers.
Yeah.
And that's what's called the Milk Run,
yeah.
Obviously. And I'm like, oh, this is such a cool name. And
so we play into the whole like milkman delivery vintage thing. This year around we did like a vintage sports idea. Yeah. So summer of '69, just vintage sports, vintage colors kind of thing. But we do play into that, like when milk was delivered. There's always something in a collection, because milk used to be delivered in Canada. Yeah. They'd like walk up with your glass jars, drop it at your door through the chute. So we always play into that like vintage era and take something from that nuance from that time, whether it be a physical milk ad or just something that's vintagey.
And it all started with an inspiration from looking at the fridge.
Yeah.
The biggest inspirations are in the weirdest spots ever.
You never know, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go looking for it, and like you go to the most wild abstract places, and you know, you do this, you do that. Some people like drinking or using or whatever. I personally don't. I just like going in clear-headed and just, But it is the weirdest thing, because I'll look at an icon on my TV screen or like on my computer screen. I'm like, oh, boom. Like it just struck a chord for me. So yeah.
As long as it sparks inspiration and it's source of basically new ideas, why not?
Yeah.
Like that's what I tell people. Why did you do this? I'm like, why not?
Yeah, totally.
And now the second part of the question, a lot of people get hung up on the logo, and that's the one thing they get stuck on, but not having the actual product. So when you went and you talked to your friend, who was supposedly your partner.
Okay.
So you presented them with the business idea. And so I was like, what is your business model going to be like, and how much money is that? How it went? So you had, let me rephrase.
I had this business idea. So they presented me with a business idea.
Yeah.
I countered them.
Okay.
And in all honesty, I just reformulated their verbiage for the business idea. Great. And then they were like, okay, show me, when I say show me like your ideas and your like store name and things like that, that was like physically me drawing like napkin drawings while I'm on FaceTime with these guys. Cause like, you know, investors, they move quick. You know what I mean? So I had 30-second pitch, drawing, trying to explain to them. And they're like, okay, I could kind of see what you want to do. And that was just, I think they just believed in me more than anything. I think they just believed that I wanted to have a business work. It could have been anything. It could have been a shoelace store, which is another great idea. But yeah, it could have been anything in the world, I think. And as long as I was passionate about it, I'm pretty sure they probably would have believed in me and invested in me. They were already there.
So it's more about the persona than the actual idea.
I think so. I think so because
you make the idea happen. And you are the ones that are going to put in the hours,
exactly,
and the energy,
exactly,
not the product,
exactly. And like this even goes back to when I was a hip hop artist. Every kid I came across within, or a fan, I should say, that I came across within 3 months of meeting them and interacting with them, they were doing music. You know what I mean? They were trying to break into hip hop. And now I see all the kids right now. I was just in Mexico a couple of weeks ago. And the amount of kids that were like, I shouldn't say kids, but young adults that were like, how did you do it? What do you do? I want to do the same thing. And it's like, yeah, but what are you really passionate about? Like clothing you might love. You might like the idea of it because there's celebrities involved in it. And that's probably why you like it, which is why half the people I met wanted to be a rapper as well. It's because they see the celebrity, they see me on tour or whatever. It's like, do what you're good at, really. Like, man, if you're good at math, go be an accountant, open your own accounting firm. You make way more money than trying to push T-shirts out the door, right? And then the other part of that too is I want to tell the young kids, if you're worried about the money and the amount of money you're going to make, go get an education because that's the guaranteed ticket. Your passion isn't going to make you your billions of dollars. You know what I mean? It can if you're lucky. And if I'm lucky, it'll happen to me. But don't chase the money is the biggest thing is what I'm trying to say. Right? When you have a passion, just your passion's business, I can tell. You love creating brands, you know, you have your makeup brand, you work construction, you built this, that's crazy. You are diversified. You're not focused on one thing. Where kids get so fixated nowadays on one thing that they'll dump all their money in to somebody in an email and then now poof, right? And then they resent it and then they resent being a creative or trying new things. So that's like one of the biggest things that I stand by when it comes to my business is I got the passion for it. I'll grind it out. I worked, 90 days. So unless you're willing to do that for that, I don't know. You know where I'm going with that?
Yeah. I was at your store and I saw how your team members were passionate about the way they talk about the products and they present it and they're trying not to make a sale as much as it is to educate the customers. And I appreciated that. How did you build that culture, given the fact that you're a small business and you're an early stage brand?
So I treat like my staff is like my family to me. I spend so much time with them every day. So they're heavily involved with the actual making of the lifestyle and the actual collections themselves. So I'll show them everything coming out. I'll take all of their advice. I'll take their influence. I let them drive a lot of the bus. When it comes to the shop, I let them drive a lot of the bus and selling that lifestyle. And that's when I hire them and get to know them a little bit more, I exaggerate the fact that you're here to sell the lifestyle of what we do, and I want to make you successful so that you can be the person you want to be, whether you want to go buy a new car, fresh haircut every Friday or whatever it is, whatever you want to do. I want to be able to get you to that level in my company, and that I just have a passion for my staff. I think that's why it comes across that way in the shop from them. My assistant manager, Ron, helped me design this. I look at him every time a collection comes up. I'm like, hey, what do you think the color palette's going to be for, next year's spring? And I'll do it. Like
You take
yeah. And I showed them that they matter to me and like, they're my frontline soldiers, I got to make sure they got ammunition to go fight the war, because if not, then
who's going to win the war?
Yeah, like we're, So that's why I think that's why I think it works. Yeah.
So usually when you hire your first employee, it just happened because you're too busy doing transactions.
Yep.
It's not just. When was this time that when you hired your second employee?
So I had when I opened the shop, I had hired 3 employees right off the jump.
That's a big commitment.
Yeah.
And
mall hours, 12 hours a day, you know what I mean? So I was able to work them part-time, great part-time hours, I should say. And actually, the very first shop, I hired somebody that I used to work with in retail back in the day. It's my homie, AJ. Yeah. And he actually told me to do the Lucky Cat hoodie.
Oh.
Like we were designing things and he was like, yo, you should do something. He's Filipino. He's like, you should do something Asian inspired. I don't know why he said that to this day. I haven't even asked him actually. And I typed in like Asian inspired artwork and I think I saw the clip art of the cat and that's like, yeah. So I
haven't checked that one out. I have to go check it out.
So yeah, I hired 3 staff.
We'll link a photo on the video.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I had 3 staff. All 3 of those people don't work for me anymore. This shop grew and I went and poached people from other shops. I took store managers, assistant managers. I walked around the mall, multiple days and I just chatted with people, asked, like, I talked to the charismatic people, the most loudest person in that store who was working. I'd go talk to them and see if they like their job, what they're getting paid, things like that. Let them know who I am. And that's what happened. That's how I got almost all of my staff right now. I'm not going to lie. When you see something in somebody and, you believe that they could contribute to your shop's energy, I guess to say, you don't sleep on that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened. And that would have been 2020 in the second shop. I would have had 3 new staff after that. So I would have walked over there with 4 people because I had lost a couple in the beginning stages.
How did you manage to go with 3 staff members that were just hired with a brand new store that had just opened? I
worked a lot with them, like day in and day out. Like when I say I was there almost every day, I was there almost every day. Maybe half day Sunday I wasn't there, and I just to go home, get a little nap, eat some dinner, and be back there Monday. So there's a lot of hands-on with them, a lot of patience, listening, a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when I first came around your product, it was a customer that actually brought it to our store.
Yeah.
And he wanted to customize it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is a really nice T-shirt. And that's when I first looked at your website. I phoned in.
Yeah.
You picked up the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you still do customer service?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you do that?
What, in terms of what, though? Like, why wouldn't I? Like, why? Like,
a lot of so-claimed, I'm a CEO. So now you made it a little bit. Now you have staff, you have a store, and you're going to let your people just go in about. It's like, no, I'm going to be the guy who is chilling in Mexico because I have this brand.
Well, I mean, I could be, but like that, I don't think that would help my brand per se. And then you lose your integrity with your staff because they just, like, oh, this guy, I did all the work, like I have so much love for my brand that if somebody needed something or any type of service, like I'd love to help them out. That's just the person I am. Not gonna say I'm not gonna go enjoy my time when I can, obviously, but man, I probably always will work in the shop at least. Even if we blow up supreme level, I'll always be there Friday, Saturday. We'll always go rock the shop Friday, Saturday, sell the lifestyle, shake hands, meet the kids, let them take photos. If you enjoy
it and it's your passion.
Man, why not, right? Like, I love that. That's you get to physically see and feel the energy of your consumers that are so obsessed with your brand. Like, damn, I want to be there. Like, put me in there, man.
So you guys basically main niche, you're selling lifestyle through these trendy new collections. You design those yourself and you manufacture them yourself.
Yes.
You also have mentioned that you manufacture your own yarn. You buy that separately, then you make your own fabric. How do you go about that? How do you get started in that?
So that, and I won't lie, my manufacturer handles all the making of the yarns.
Yep.
He handles everything all on my behalf. 2.5 years of constant messaging has created that for me.
Have you traveled to them yet?
Not yet.
You planning to do so?
Yes, because when I go, oh man, like the amount that I'll be able to create there just by looking at the fabrics, touching them, feeling them, and just being like, oh no, make this, make this jacket, do this, da, 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 da. It won't even be fair. Like it'll be, man.
You did it differently than when I did when I first started my cosmetic line. Is I actually traveled to every country.
Yeah.
And I met with these local suppliers because I want to feel that. And I did it also recently with the Rocket clothing line.
Yeah.
We traveled to Bangladesh and Turkey.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch the fabric because for me, it was like, there's that Suzy Trucks. I don't know if you're sending me a ghost email, if it's a phishing email.
Yeah.
You want to take my money? I want to see, do you have a factory? Do you really own what you're claiming you have? Or are you just a broker? Because a lot of... So,
there's a lot of brokers.
Yeah.
Trust me.
How many people did you have to jungle in between before you find the right partner to work with?
Man, we probably had like 30 different vendors, maybe even more, that I had to deal with and work through. And this, the worst, I shouldn't say the worst, the biggest challenge for this was this isn't invented. Mm-hmm. So I can't go buy this and send it to my factory and be like, yo, try to imitate this, or show me what happens when you try to imitate this. I've sent my t-shirt to other factories for them to try to imitate it. And it's like, we laugh at what comes back. It's great. It's great. Yeah. It's awesome.
It's amazing to hear that you have trusted partners that are really good at what they're doing.
Yeah. So
and then you can rely on them.
Yeah. So I spent, again, so we get the email, whatever, spent 2.5 years, constant messaging. When I say constant, and the time changed too. My day starts at 9 a.m. and it doesn't stop till probably like 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And that's just every day, Sunday to Sunday, every day, doesn't matter. That's just what it has to take to run the business to get it there to the level. I still do it to this day. And yeah, just that's the attention to detail is where I think the success of this came out of.
Your first year, what would you say is like? Do you mind sharing your figures, your revenue wise?
Yeah, we did just about the first year.
The very first year,
Yep.
off a brick and mortar store.
Yep.
Starting with 300 followers on
Yep.
Instagram.
Yep.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. It was a challenge. Don't get me wrong. There was times where, it was challenging. Another factor to that, I think, was the only mall open in BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan was Cross Iron Mills. So that, I don't know how much it helped, but it helped. I did curbside delivery. I didn't let anything stop me from selling, is what basically happened. I worked 6 days a week during COVID, and I'd open the shop at 10 o'clock, online orders, people would phone in orders, EMT me, pay an extra $15 for shipping, like on the EMT, so I could ship it out to them. So like there wasn't anything I didn't do to make sure that I was generating sales during that time either. So
where do you want to take your brand from this level to 3.5 years later? JD is of Macaron today, the brand founder. If knowing what you know, where do you see the next 3.5 years like?
Well, it's tough to say. Where I want to take it and where I see it going, I want to go international with it. I want to be able to get it on the backs of the forefathers of the trendsetters internationally, whether that be the skaters or the rappers or the singers or the cooks or whatever it is. I want to get it on internationally, and I want to be able to reinvent the wheel isn't the right saying, but introduce these shirts to the world, because I know people will go crazy over it. I followed streetwear. I couldn't even tell you for how long. I tried to buy the rights of Crooks and Castles when I was 17 years old. Yeah. So this is like how long I followed streetwear for. So yeah, that's just the pure passion and time spent on loving t-shirts alone. I think is why is why I want to take it to that level. Yeah.
So two last questions. And you're probably prepared for those. Why do you think people should buy your product?
Not only do we pride in our quality, but the insurity of our quality. Like if anything goes wrong with our clothing at any stage, where we're at, bring it back to us. If it's a 2-year-old t-shirt, I'm not going to be able to give you a new one because we'll be sold out of it, that print specifically, but we'll repair it. Not only that, our designs, super limited, very limited quantities. They're all original. Nothing's like, grabbed off the internet and this and that. Where we are now, I should say. Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't tried on one of my t-shirts, come in and you'll know why I want you to buy the brand.
My staff was super excited about it. Like, we can't wait to have it.
It's just different. Like,
yes.
it's, and like I said, like, you can't go, when I was making this t-shirt, you couldn't go the cotton for t-shirts. You couldn't go buy something to show.
350 GSMs is something that just does not exist in the first place.
No,
you can't
couldn't
just
show
go buy
them.
it anyway.
Yeah. So the time spent into that is, I think in my mind, I've made the perfect t-shirt. But come try it for yourself and tell me, because I love feedback and I'll make something different.
Amazing. And one last question: how would you like to be remembered?
Man, I didn't read this far down the questions. I was at work too. Yeah, just as a nice guy, humbled guy. That's it, man. I just want to make the world a better place than it was when I was here. That's really it. When I want to be remembered from this podcast is because I got the dopest brand in Calgary right now.
Amazing. Well, JD, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, man.
It's a pleasure to have you in.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Stay tuned for the Rocket Podcast, where we interview local brand founders and their amazing product and the big change they're making in the community. Thank you.
Hey, anytime.